Okay, so good morning or good afternoon. Hi, you guys. Just wanted to show you a little bit on how to navigate, amplify, and get started on your lesson today. So, if you find the metabolism unit, that's where we're going to start today, and click on that, you should have already completed lesson 1.1. If you hadn't, you're going to want to start there first. There's a video to show you a little bit about how to use that. If you need to know how to use the pretest, it is on Canvas waiting for you. So, we're going to go into lesson 1.2. In lesson 1.2, we have a few things that we're going to be looking at, and I'm going to pause the video for just a moment and show you the slides. All right, so we are going to be looking at this unit as a medical student. There is a video that is also posted outside that I will address in just a moment that you can watch to start you out in this unit. But we're going to be looking at how the body looks, how the body works on a macroscopic big scale and microscopic small scale. And we're going to be looking at how the body actually uses molecules that it gets for energy and for growth. So you're going to start out with the warm up. So the warm up is just basically jumping into the unit. Before you do the warm up, go ahead and hop out of the video, pause this for just a moment, and you're going to hop out and you're going to watch that video on Canvas. If you go to our lesson for the day 1.1 and 1.2, scroll down a little bit. Here's that video to help you with the critical juncture. I mean, not the critical juncture, the pretest. And this is the video that you should watch before you even start this unit. This is just a little introduction into the unit and to let you know these people in the video are actors, but these are real situations that people do deal with every day, including the medical students you will see in the video. So pause right now and watch that video. So now that you know what your job as a medical student will be, we're going to go ahead and jump into the lesson. So we're going to start out with part one. Part one is the warm-up. So you're going to go through the warm-up and answer the question, why do you think your new patient, Eliza, is feeling tired all the time? Explain your answers. So pause the video as you do each part of the lesson. And if you double screen, it'll make it a little easier for you to do amplify at the same time as having Canvas up and listening to the videos. Okay, so hopefully now you have answered the question of why you think the new patient is feeling tired all the time. You can talk about this with your group as well if you haven't. But so maybe you came up with that Eliza is feeling tired because she, what? Let's see what that could be. So maybe you're saying that she's tired all the time because she's not getting enough sleep. Maybe you're saying she's tired all the time because I don't know. What are you saying? Okay, so let's look at activity number 2 now that we've talked a little bit about that. You're going to be using a simulation for this. So you're going to go into the simulation. It's going to help us to be able to learn more about the human body and figure out what goes on inside the human body without actually being able to see it. Now this model is going to be a little bit different. It is a scientific model and it simulates what is happening in the body, but it is going to be a little bit different in how it works. So each one of these colored sections is going to be a system in the body. And if you hover over them, you will be able to see what those systems are. So your instructions on your Canvas page for activity 2 says to launch that metabolism simulation. Select that healthy body from the menu, observe, and explore it with your partner. So you can do this as a group and talk to each other. What do you guys see going on? Think about these questions. How does the simulation work? Let's see. So I brought up the main screen on your Amplify just to show you what it looks like. And I have a few more tabs than you do, so ignore the teacher tabs because that's mine. But you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it says, what do you notice? So you're going to open up this sim. And once you get this sim open, you're going to click no, we're not using an iPad. And it should bring you into the sim. So I'm going to go back to my main tab and it tells me to select healthy body and select observe. So I'm going to click healthy body and then I'm going to hit yes to reload and I'm going to tell it to observe. Okay, so I'm just going to watch what's happening with this and try to figure out what's going on. So we can see some molecules coming in. If you look at the bottom, the green circles are oxygen, glucose, we've got amino acids here. We've got proteins that we don't see on the board or on the screen yet. We also have these little guys down here too. And we can look at what these are at a later date. We'll look at these different systems and see what's going on with it. So just observe and see what's happening. Okay, so after you finish with part one, you're going to go on to part two, and you're going to answer some questions. You're going to see what happens to the food and air that enter the body, and you can talk and discuss that with your group members. So you should be observing to look for those specific things. Then you're going to go on to part three, and you're considering which molecules are actually entering into the cell. So you want to find where the cell is. So when you click on these systems, you will notice that it'll tell you what system it is and what areas of the system you have. So you want to find the one that says the cell. Okay, so here's the cell. So as you're looking at that system in front of you, you're going to want to look at the different types of molecules and figure out what's going on in the system and think about what are some of the things that you know that the human body needs to function. So what are those things and what are some signs that you can observe to see that the human body is functioning properly? So you know that two majorly important things are food and air. As you watch that metabolism sim again, watch what happens to it. So go back to the sim, look what happens to it, and then see what happens to that food in the air in that simulation. So our unit question is, how do trillions of cells in the human body get what they need to function and to do and what do the cells do when they absorb things? And remember, we're using that unit question to also, as a big picture, we're going to scale it down a little bit just for chapter one, and we're trying to figure out why Elisa is feeling tired all the time. So if we look at that yellow box that represents one healthy cell, you can zoom in by clicking on that magnifying glass to be able to see it a little bit closer so you can get a little bit more detail and figure out what's going on inside with the trillions of cells that are in the body by observing just this one cell that's here for you to see. Take notice to the cells that are actually entering this, or the molecules that are entering this one cell. As you can see, I've jumped back over to Amplify so you can see where we are. If you go to part three. So in part three, you'll have a definition here that just says basically what metabolism is. Metabolism is going to be the focus of the entire unit. So it's very important that you understand this word. It is the body's use of molecules for energy and growth. Okay, so I'm going to hop you back to the slides so that we can learn a little bit more about that metabolism. We just discussed this vocabulary word. So throughout the unit, if you need it, you can actually go to the glossary and look up things and help you understand. So I'm going to bring up the glossary on Amplify so you can see where it is. Okay, so here's Amplify. If we go back to the lesson brief, there'll be a list of resources right here. As a matter of fact, the video that I posted on Canvas for you is right here for you to use. Elisa's conditions, so you can access those videos. I won't always put those up because they'll be right here for you. Another thing is the metabolism glossary. So if you click on this, it'll bring up the glossary and it'll give you all of the words that are in that chapter so that you can look at those words. And just so happens, metabolism is one major one that they have on here. So now you know where to find the glossary. Okay, so we're going to go back into the notes. So in the sim, you observed a functioning body. Certain molecules that come from food and air are transported into your cells. We know that. So do you have any insights or new things that you have seen, whether that be changes or insights, about claims after observing the sim? So do you know why she's feeling tired? So we know that it's related to the molecules that she is taking in from her environment and what is happening in the cells in her body. So we're going to continue to focus on energy and growth and what happens with the molecules, allowing her whole body to function and function healthy. Now, if you are doing the should do's, the should do for this activity or for this lesson is activity 4, which is homework. So you're going to jump into the homework, and this is what it looks like. You're going to use that same sim again, and you're going to use the healthy body and test mode. You're going to plan some different things for that simulation to do. So to make it a little easier, I brought you back over to Amplify so you can see what it looks like. So you're going to select healthy body, and then you're going to select test. And in that test mode, you're going to plan at least 3 different tests for the healthy body. So we're going to bring up that sim, and you're going to go to healthy body. Yes, reset it and click test mode. When you bring it up, you're going to plan some menu choices. So you're going to maybe add a corn, a fish, a sandwich, and a custom, I don't know, you're going to add a few things in here and you're going to plan 3 different diets and you're going to record your results. How many corn did you have? How many fish did you have? And how many sandwiches did you have? And then you're going to run the test and see what your results are. You're going to see how many of each of these was absorbed by the cells. So if you run this test, we're going to hit play. Okay. And as it runs the test, it will start giving you kind of a readout of breath rate, heart rate, and you're going to need information based on, it says record the diets you tested and the number of molecules absorbed. So corn, fish, sandwich, how many did you have? How many glucose molecules, amino acid, and oxygen molecules did it absorb? So as you're doing this test, you should be able to go in and look at the different molecules. Let me see if I can find where that is. So if you look right up here at the top, right now we're actually on live and I accidentally hit the cells, but we're on live. If you click on graph, you'll get all of the details you need right here. So when this is done, you're going to record what total number of molecules, amino acids, glucose, and oxygen you had. And again, that was how many were absorbed by the cell. And I think you actually need to run it for 200 seconds, and that'll help you to be able to get your answers. And you need to do that 3 different times. And that's the end of the lesson for today in Amplify. So if you will hop back over to Canvas and see what your should do's are, you should have some assignments there that you need to work on as well. Lesson 1.2 part 4 we already did, and the get to know you is also a should do you can finish from last time. And then there's also a lab safety assignment here for you. If you just click on this, it should let you do it right here from Canvas. So good luck, you guys. Have an awesome day, and I will be happy to help you. Make sure you guys raise your hand or put yourself in classroom queue so that I know that you need some help. And that is what we're doing today.